What does offend me, of course, is offending personal freedom and equal rights, and that's one of the reasons why I got upset at the beginning of this session. But that's been fixed, and I thank the organizers for that as well. To agreeing to not segregate this room in a 21st century is a great step forward, and I appreciate that.
Later.
I believe in gender equality, and there's the only woman who wants to answer a question in the room right now. She's standing there. Let's do it.
Okay, bismillah. So, there was this debate that happened a couple of years back between Hamza Zortzis and this guy called Professor Lawrence Krauss. And there was some issue, like I remember, about segregation of between men and women. And I just want to kind of like talk about it and a couple of problems I saw with Lawrence Krauss's arguments and, the reasons he provided. So around the end of the debate, there was like there was a Muslim lady. She like stood up and she talked about some dude trying to like sit with the ladies or something like that. Just have a listen to what she said.
I haven't ever been in space, although I wouldn't mind.
Look, I believe in gender equality, and there's the only woman who wants to answer a question in the room right now. She's standing there. Let's do it.
I applaud that. I applaud you for that.
I just wanted to make a comment about the incident that happened before this event began. I acknowledge that the brother who couldn't find a seat where he was coming from, but I believe that he has a right to sit where he wanted to, but there has been some misunderstanding. Firstly, Islam makes it very clear that equality is incredibly important, and that no black man, for example, is superior to a white man and vice versa. But the issue here was not one of superiority, as no one imposed segregation upon him. He was allowed to sit with the ladies at the back, and he was also allowed to sit at the front with females. But if some of the ladies chosen to sit at a distance from the men, why must he impose himself upon us? If I sat in a restaurant with my friends away from men, would it be appropriate for him to join me at my table too? And I'm basically offended by his disrespect for my values.
So basically, she talks about the fact that she has a right to sit where and whom she wants to sit with. She mentioned if she's sitting in a restaurant, and some random people can't just come and sit with them. Lawrence Krauss, he gives a response, and that's what basically I want to try and dissect. So here's his response.
Let me respond. Although I'm not the organizers, let me respond. Look, the point is, as I said, I don't think people should be uncomfortable, okay? And they should move if they're uncomfortable. However, you chose to come to an event that wasn't segregated. If you felt uncomfortable by that, I think you have the right not to be here and watch it on video. But you chose to do that, and therefore, and I realize that you may be uncomfortable sitting with men, and I respect that. You shouldn't be forced to do that. But if you choose to go to a hockey game or a what do they call it here, football game, which is really soccer, then you subject yourself to the social conventions of the time. So I respect your desires, and I don't want you to be forced to do that. And in fact, you should have moved away if it was offensive. But the point is that this was a non-segregated event, and you knew that coming in, and you therefore were subject to the possibility that you might be near someone, and that was your choice.
Thank you very much.
So basically, he mentions a couple of things. One thing he mentions is you chose to come to a non-segregated event, which is not true. And actually, if you see this other clip of him, he's actually thanking the organizers or the people there, for desegregating the event because of him, because of what he said to them. Because at the beginning of the debate, it was supposed to be segregated, and then he I think talked to them or something like that. He said maybe, I don't know what he said, but he pressured them to not segregate between men and women in the event. He actually says that. He actually thanks them, just check this out.
What does offend me, of course, is offending personal freedom and equal rights, and that's one of the reasons why I got upset at the beginning of this session. But that's been fixed, and I thank the organizers for that as well. To agreeing to not segregate this room in a 21st century is a great step forward, and I appreciate that.
So as that shows, she didn't come to an event where, it was already told to her that it was not going to be segregated, and then she's just, throwing a fit for no reason. It was supposed to be a segregated event, and then this dude came out of nowhere and, pressured the organizers to not segregate. And then he's trying to use that as an argument. And then he says, you shouldn't be forced to sit with men. It was because of him why, this whole situation was occurring, because, he came out of nowhere, and then, and he's like, oh yeah, you can watch it on a video or whatever. You can, if you don't want not to be here. But it was supposed to be a segregated event, and they desegregated. They didn't make it segregated because of him. So literally, he actually, he says that he respects her, choice and whatever. But the way it actually went on, he didn't respect her choice with his actions and what he did. What he's saying is it's not true. And I think I want to talk about the main thing of why he's trying to present women not sitting with men, or men not sitting with women, not being mixed, as being some sort of like, I don't know, backward or, barbaric, situation. Because like, what's wrong with that? Like, well, why? Like, washrooms are segregated, I'm pretty sure like he doesn't have a problem with that. Like, some people, they just don't want to sit with other people, like different sex. What's wrong with that? Like, women don't have the choice. You're gonna take that away from them, so some weird, perverts can sit with them, or like, what's wrong with that? Like, I know I can understand, like, if, let's just say, Muslim people or religious people go to like hockey places or hockey arenas, if they go to like non-segregated events, and then they get angry, I guess it's gonna be on them, yes, but the place was not supposed to be segregated. And exactly, it's like a continuation of this, colonialist, Western supremacist view where, Western ideals are like held as being supreme, and, social times. It's like, yeah, so that's what you believe. Why do you have to impose that on other people? Why do you care? What difference does it make to you if women are sitting with men or not? Like, are you there for all the incels? So they can get closer to ladies or something? Why? Why does it matter? Like, what's going to happen if women don't sit with men? Nothing. Like, I can understand if you say, like, if women are, like, delegated to sit in, like, just not, or like, sit in areas where it's not as good, like, bad areas. And that could be mitigated by, like, having, like, men and women sit separately, but, like, in equally strategic places. It's like, what's wrong with that? Why are you kind of presenting this as being oppression? Or, it's like, maybe if you don't allow women to come to the event, you can say that's a problem, sure. But like, men and women are not going to sit together. That's a huge problem. It's like, how? Just because you think so? I'm pretty sure the same place, the washrooms were segregated, but because the West is okay with that, oh no, this good old boy, he's fine with that, if the white is right kind of mentality, and he says that he respects her, he respects her opinion, but what he shows is he doesn't care. Talk doesn't matter when the action, it's not, coherent with what you're saying. So that's just like one thing I want to talk about. So yeah, thanks for listening. Assalamu alaikum.